Another way that you can think of this is with regard to the scapula. You want to bring the inferior angle of the scapula down toward the opposite glute. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then you're bringing your shoulder blades down toward your hip. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today Kat and I are going to be demonstrating a segmental strengthening and reinforcement exercise for the inferior fibers of the trapezius muscle. With regard to this muscle right over here, a lot of people are going to be very, very weak in this area. In over 17 years of assessing people, I don't think I've ever met one person that had adequate strength in this muscle, myself included. So this would be a great exercise for anybody that has any type of shoulder pain or any type of postural dysfunction. As with the video that we did last week with regard to the rhomboid major, a lot of people, because of the lives that we live in, they're always going to be in this hyperflex position in the thoracic spine, from driving all day, being at a desk, being on a computer, being on their phone. So when that happens, you're going to develop hyperkyphosis in the spine, and also the inferior trapezius muscle is going to be very, very weak. You could see this with a lot of people if you ever do a breathing assessment. A lot of people, if you ever ask them to take a deep breath, what's going to happen is as soon as they breathe in, they're going to shrug up with their shoulders. And the reason that they do that is because a lot of people are going to store a lot of tension in their shoulders, and also their upper trapezius is going to be very, very overactivated relative to their inferior fibers of the trapezius. So by incorporating this exercise right over here, it is greatly going to improve the function of your shoulder. It'll decrease issues with regard to shoulder pain, neck pain, and it will also help to improve your posture. With this exercise, with regard to the actual trapezius muscle, it runs from the base of the occiput, so I'm just going to have Kat turn around, and it's going to go from the base of the occiput, the nuchal ligament, and the spinous processes of your C7 all the way to your T12. And then from there, it is going to attach to the lateral portion of your clavicle, the acromion process, and also the inferior angle of your scapula. Now, with regard to the fibers, there's three different directions that the fibers are going to run in. The upper trapezius, it's running in this upward diagonal toward the neck. The middle fibers are going to run horizontally, and then the inferior fibers are going to run down toward the spine. So because they run down in this direction, the inferior fibers of the trapezius muscle are going to be responsible mainly for retraction of the scapula, so bringing the scapula toward the spine, and also depression of the scapula, bringing the scapula down toward the hip region. So in order to do this exercise, it's going to be similar to the rhomboid major. We're going to be lying down on the stomach. So I'm going to have Kat lay down on her stomach. And with regard to this exercise over here, the setup position is pretty much the same. You're in a prone position, so on your stomach, you're pinning your chin to the mat. The difference is going to be the arm position. So with the arm position, you want to bring your arms down by your sides, and your palms are going to be facing the ceiling. Because this exercise is we're working on the inferior fibers of the trapezius muscle, remember, it does depression of the scapula, and it also does retraction of the scapula. So we want Kat to bring her arms, keeping them straight. She's going to lift her shoulder blades up to retract the scapula, and then bring her arms down to depress the scapula. What you can imagine is that you are trying to lift your arms and bring your arms into the opposite pocket. So if you are wearing jeans with pockets, just imagine that you're trying to get your hands in there. Another way that you can think of this is with regard to the scapula. You want to bring the inferior angle of the scapula down toward the opposite glute. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then you're bringing your shoulder blades down toward your hip. So with this one, both arms at the same time, what Kat's going to do is she's going to lift her arms up, she's going to squeeze her shoulder blades together, and she's going to depress her scapula. So she's going to imagine that she's bringing her arms into her opposite pockets. And then she's going to go back down to the floor. In terms of the repetitions for this exercise right over here, again, because we are focusing on posture and we're trying to improve posture and also strengthen a very, very weak muscle, we want to accumulate a lot of time under tension. So as with the rhomboid major, this one over here, again, we want to do 3 sets of 50 repetitions. That's 5-0, not 1-5, because we want to correct posture, and if you spend years in this position, you're not going to be able to accumulate enough time under tension if you're just doing the typical 8 to 12 repetitions. So 3 sets of 50 repetitions for the inferior fibers of the trapezius muscle is what you would want to do. And again, you're lifting up your shoulder blades and arms off the ground, you're retracting them, and then you're depressing your shoulder blades by imagining that you're trying to bring your palms toward your opposite pocket. But that's pretty much it for this exercise. I'm going to have Kat come up off the ground because I'm sure she doesn't want to have her chin on the floor forever. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so it'll make more of these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.